How's everybody doing? I have two awesome bass drum pedals with me right now. I have what's called the P20, pretty sure. This is like pre-Iron Cobra period pedal. Just before the Iron Cobra pedal came out. It even has the legend and innovation part here, inside the footboard. And this pedal is this is awesome. I used to, for more than a decade, I was playing a Camco pedal, and I only stopped because I remembered that this pedal. I was like, hey, I bet you I can get that old pedal, because the first pedal that I bought was an Iron Cobra pedal in 1990, around 93. My friend Rob drove me up to Rockville, Maryland. If anybody's from Maryland, when I used to live in America, Rockville, Maryland, from my home in Virginia, and we went to the Guitar Center. Pretty sure it's a Guitar Center in Rockville, Maryland, and I came back with the new Iron Cobra pedal. I mean, I was like 13. New Iron Cobra pedal, double chain. And this part here had black inside the spots. And I've realized since then that any little kid buying a bass drum pedal, all the pedals are longboards for you, because your foot is like, it fits like there, So that pedal was just unbelievable for me, and it kind of marked me. And since then I was like, man, I would love to find this old footboard on the pedal I use every day. So I found one, PS20. I found it. I didn't want to. There's considerable difference between this pedal and the Iron Cobra pedals, but this pedal is awesome. I actually prefer this one. It has the rolling glide sprocket. It's literally right after the Camco pedal of Tama. And I was in the car the other day and I was like, why is that Camco pedal and this one, people don't know this one as much as the Camco, but this one is amazing. It's like, why are they so awesome? Why are those two pedals just so burning? What makes them, because they feel so light, and they feel so like almost, like you could break them, but you can't. Or, I mean, I haven't. And it's like, because it's just the essential stuff of a pedal. There's nothing. It's not like what I'm going to show you. You can't modify stuff. There's not extra metal that allows you to modify stuff. It's just the essential stuff. That's it. You got this thing here, it holds the spring. I put on the lock spring because that way, it's just awesome. And it's plastic, so it's very light anyway. Lock spring. But otherwise, you cannot modify this. You can undo the Allen screw and slide these back and forth, but for a stupid reason, unless you want to slide this beater to the right a little bit to give you more room for, I don't know why you don't want to hit off center on your bass drum in that way, I don't know. But anyway, you can't modify this stuff. It's fixed. But because it's a chain, you can modify the height of the footboard, which I have recognized I must be an alien or something, because I have recognized that I like the footboard raised. But here's the catch, and this is why I have this pedal too. The catch is, I like the footboard raised, but I don't like it changing the angle here. I just like the footboard raised. So if I ever get endorsed by anybody, now that I said that, somebody's going to say it, and then there goes my deal. But anyway, that's what I'd like to do. So it doesn't change the angle. Tama, if you're checking this out, I would love to be one of your artists. Anyway. But with the chain on this pedal, you just take off a link, and you have the football raised, and this rolling glide, this shape here doesn't change. Now, that gets me to another thing. I'll talk about the chain. I'll just talk about it right now. Some people think that having a single chain is not as strong as having a double chain. That is complete baloney. I just invite you to try and take off one of these links on this chain here. Take off one, and you will see that it is very hard. If you do not have the tool like you could get probably at a bike shop to just like this, and even that's hard, but to punch it out. If you don't have that, then you have to find the right tool to hit it with a hammer and pop it out. It is hard. It is hard. It's not coming out. It's not coming. Even if you throw it out the window, it's still not coming out. You could say, yeah, you could bend it. Try bending one of those links once you take it out. You will see that it is very hard. A single chain, it's not going anywhere unless you leave it in like a cave or something and it rusts out. And even then, rusted metal can stay for a long time. So anyway, and in the worst case scenario, that chain is replaceable. But I swear to God, every time I take a chain out, when I took these links, I was like, I got to do a video and tell people that, because even I was like, it's a single chain, maybe it could break or something. No. And also, I use this pedal. Now you think it might be light. This pedal is freaking awesome. So is the Camco one. Now the Camco one I used for maybe like more than 10 years, at least, almost like 15 years, burning pedal. Now this is my full-time job. So I play in my lessons all the time. I am literally playing all the time, upwards of 25 to 30 hours a week. And this pedal's taken that abuse, okay? It has been the Camco took that abuse for about 15 years. Before that, I was matching pedals, trying different stuff out. But we're talking that workload on a Camco pedal didn't move. The only thing that's happened now with the Camco, and I noticed this because I got this one, I originally took the footboard off of this one and put it on the Camco part, and I was like, there's some noise. I noticed some noise. It's like, what the heck's going on? And I noticed that on the Camco pedal, the bar here, it's starting to move a little bit. This one is a little, you can't even hear it. But, so I don't know, I have to look and see if it's just the Allen screw that I just got, that unloosened or whatever. But that's it. That's it. After like more than a decade of literally taking it apart, putting it in my bag, taking it home, throwing my bag in a car, in the home, then taking it back out, going to work. It's in the bag, going to work, taking it apart, or putting it together at work, putting it onto the bass drum, doing that for more than a decade, that many hours, and the Camco is just unbelievably satisfied with it. Get it? It's well worth, even a brand new one, it is well worth the money. Now, I took care of it, but I put it in a bag like this. I took off the beater and like this and put it on a corner of one of my bags. That's the extent of my caring for the pedal for more than like a decade. And it was flawless, and it still is flawless. I think just an Allen screw that's undone a little bit. This one I'm doing the same thing. It is flawless, burning. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, because all these people I'm looking online and I'm really interested in pedals. Looking online and all these people are talking about these $200, $300, $400, $500, $800, almost $1,000 pedals. Like, this is speed and this and that and the next thing, and the sound and the beater angle and the eccentric sprockets and the rolling glides and the direct drives and the straps and the chains and and the Speed King and then the Speed Flyer and the DWs, of course, and the Dixon and the Tricks, and it's crazy. It is crazy. There's a lot of pedals out there. There's a crazy Transformer style pedal from that Premier used to put out with the rubber, which I would have gotten if it wasn't for the rubber band in the place of the spring. But it's pretty cool. It looks like a Transformer though. So I was like, what is the deal with these pedals? Because this thing, I'm literally grinding it, putting it through the grinder more than, not this one, but the Camco for more than a decade, and it's burning. And I just had a gig recently, and I have this one in my house. Drummers, you know what this is. I'm going to talk about this, but I didn't work it out yet, so I took this one instead, the PS20 or P20 Tama. This is the go-to one, and it's just awesome because it's, the roll and glide and the footboard height. It allows me to do all different styles. It was a gig where I needed to play rock and roll, rock, funk, pop, ballads, slow, fast, loud, soft, even a little country, with different styles and different approaches to the bass drum. And this one never lets me down. It's interchangeable. It's universal. To me, it's universal. And I just, on top of the fact it feels so good, I like looking at the floorboard because, like I said, Tom was the first pedal I bought when I was a little kid, and so it's nostalgic. I'm biased about it. So I was like, but what is the freaking difference with these ones? And everybody's getting these brand new, spanking, really expensive pedals. I want to know what's going on. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, okay, what am I going to do here? Do I want direct drive? Do I want strap? Do I want chain? What do I want? Catapult. There's crazy pedals, There's a crazy pedal. I forget who made it. The spring is kind of reversed. I forget who made that pedal. Anyway. I forget who made it. Do I just want to put a footboard, a base plate on the bottom of my Camco pedal? Is that, why do I want a new pedal? Why do I want to try a different pedal? Do I want a new pedal? No. But I want to learn. Hey, this is what you do when you love something. You don't just, it's a hobby, but it's my career. So I'm totally down for, I want to know. So I was thinking about just getting a footboard for this, a base plate for this one. And I was like, I finally narrowed it down. Finally realized that essentially what I want is the lightness and the feel of this rolling glide thing, sprocket, and this kind of pedal. Virtually like aluminum, casted aluminum, I guess, whatever, pedal. But, the only, if I had one criticism of this pedal and the Camco pedal, it's that because it's the old school fashion with these bars that hold it together, when you put your foot down, there is a give and take with the pedal on the floor, and if I could get rid of that, I would, and I probably I've been thinking about putting a base plate on the bottom of this one or the Camco, and it would immediately get rid of it. It costs nothing, and I could get rid of it. And this pedal is just unbelievable. It's to me, the proof is I just had a gig, and I took this pedal, okay, instead of this one. Now that is coming from playing more than 30 hours, 25, 30 hours a week for more than a decade. It's actually on the pedal, but I've been playing that schedule since 2004. So it's almost 2 decades. So what is the big deal with these great pedals? Okay, well so I got one, and I got the Daddy. I was going to get a direct drive, but I used to have an Axis pedal, and they're cool, but I don't know. This is like, I just don't know. It's just, there's an aspect of them that's very surgical, and to each his own. but I had one. I remember what it was like, and it felt like I had to adjust to it, and it would not adjust to me at all. And so anyway, so I know the chain, and so, but I was thinking, I remember playing that Pearl strap drive pedal, and it was amazing, and I loved it. I loved it. First pedal I ever played was with the strap. And straps are awesome. When you grow up, you think, oh, straps, you can cut it and it'll break. As a little kid, you're like, so I want to go chain. Totally crap. Total crap. Now, I heard some people say that, I won't mention any names, but I heard some people say that, laryngitis. I heard some people say that strap, the chain, marketing chains as opposed to strap, the chain thing was complete a marketing stunt. The strap is totally worthy. The chain is just a marketing tool. Yes and no. I won't mention who said that because I don't want to cause any problems. But yes and no. When the chain came about, pedals up until that point were using leather and like maybe some vinyl, but most of it was leather, and you had to replace the leather. The leather hole would stretch. Since then, we use now vinyl and Kevlar. So yes and no. The chain was not just a propaganda. Chain was not just a marketing stunt. It was actually for a real need, because at the time it was just leather and vinyl stuff, mostly leather. Tempo King comes to mind, Slingerland. And you had to replace them. Since then, like I said, Kevlar and serious vinyl straps came out, and now it's not really competitive. The Kevlar is going to last a really long time, so no problems. But what's the advantage now of having a strap? Well, first of all, the strap is yet less. It's because if you took a strap and a chain and weighed them, the strap would weigh less. So the spring has to work less to bring the beater back into position, to roll it around the sprocket. Okay, it's less, and all that adds up. So the strap means that if you have a strap, means that the footboard's going to come back up into the bottom of your foot faster than it would with a chain. And if you get a double chain, then it's going to be even longer to come back up. You're going to need a more serious spring. Now, to the normal person on the street, they don't really notice that difference. But to a drummer that plays a lot, you will notice a difference. And to prove that that's important, Iron Cobras now have the Cobra Coil, which actually helps the footboard. It's a spring that's under here, and it helps it come back up. Because companies are starting to recognize it, and drummers are starting to recognize that that's important. Okay, so the strap already helps that, and I like that. Now, so this whole thing, I was like, what is the big deal with these big pedals? Because I could get everything I want out of this little pedal. This is this freaking amazing pedal. And I took it to the gig, and I left this one at home. Sorry. So I had spent a whole week with this pedal. And, I mean, there are so many things on this pedal to adjust. You can adjust, first of all, there's a bearing here. So the spring, it's to create less sound. See, it's almost soundless. Create less sound right here. it takes less tension off the spring because the spring actually kind of moves in the direction of this piece instead of staying still like it does with the other one. But to do that, you need a piece of metal and not just this, not just a ring, but now you need a much larger piece of metal to deal with that, which slows down the motion. They made it so that this piece here, that I can change the angle of the beater with this screw. I can, do this. Let's see here. No, this one changes the angle of the board. It changes, the angle of the board. But to do that, you need a heavier screw right there, and you need this piece now, which is much more serious than the other piece. Again. Then, they put in, now, you can change the angle of the board, but you don't want that to affect the beater angle. So they now beefed up this piece, and this now is much heavier than it is on this one. You can see it. Okay, look at this, all of this right here, as opposed to this. It's much heavier, and all this is weight. All because now when you move this, you have to be able to move the beater back into position where you want it. Now, apparently they have helped take away the weight by really reducing this sprocket, this part right there. This part, okay, and it's hollow up inside here. See, I put my finger in there. So, plus the fact that it's a strap, a Kevlar strap, instead of a chain. So there's a little piece of plastic up here and a key screw. There's a key screw down here, which this one has. But everything, I mean, just look at the size of the sprocket. Look at the size of everything in comparison to this. See this? And now look at this. See this? And now look at all of this this part, all this right here. Huge, crazy stuff. So all of this effort's going into making it really adjustable, okay, and it does work, and it's all super awesome. When you put this down and you play it, it feels, I was like, the first impression I had of this pedal was, because of the footboard, obviously, but the strap, and the way this is, I mean, it feels like I was in a Camaro. It feels like a muscle car, this pedal. The fact that it's a strap, and that it's very, very, very well engineered, and everything is thought out really to the deep, really just amazing. Plus, it comes with its own key, which is really, really good. It's a lot better than you think. You're always searching for keys. That is the truth. This whole contraption here to put it onto the hoop is awesome as well. You have the footboard, obviously. The base plate, is great with the rubber bottom to it. So any kind of bass creep is, unless you're just stupid, is pretty controlled. This pedal, okay, this is, I was like, if I'm going to get one, I want to get one of these awesome pedals and see. I want to get one. This is the Iron Cobra 900 Flexi Glide. They don't make these anymore. And I was like, that's the one I want. I want a strap, and I want it to be freaking unbelievable. I want to feel solid under my foot, but I want to feel the floaty, instantaneous power and speed of this kind of pedal, where it's virtually just the essentials. It's just the essentials. And that, I'm used to that, and it works beautifully for all the styles I want to play. Unbelievable. So I wanted that. So I got this one, and hands down, it was between this. There's a Pearl Eliminator pedal with the strap, and there's a DW version. Is there a Gibraltar version? There's a Yamaha version I was about to get. And this one just came up, and I was like, Iron Cobra again. We meet again. So I was like, oh man, I'm gonna take that. So I got it. I got it for a burning deal. And I swear, it's like driving a Pontiac Firebird. This pedal, it's like driving a Pontiac Firebird. The feel and the kick. It's powerful, but not like an 18-wheeler powerful. It's powerful like a muscle car powerful. There's a problem though. And I was racking my brain trying to figure this out. I spent a week doing this. I was manipulating everything, this and this and this and then back and moving this forward and back and this and moving this up and moving this over and all kinds of stuff. And I put it through its ringers, and then the beater, you know, you can move it forward and backwards down here, and all the different kind of manipulations I could get. I even took the board. It's like, okay, screw this. I'm gonna just do everything opposite. I'm gonna see what happens if I just reverse my philosophy and do this and do everything opposite. So the board went way down, and the board went way down. What did I do with this? I forget what I did with this. I kept the beater up to this angle and dropped the board way down. And you know what? I got it. I suddenly had the feel. When you do a technique, I can do heel toe technique, but I also do heel up technique. I can do that really well too, depending on the pedal. And the problem was, the way that this pedal is delivered to you, and it's like point de départ, and it's the version that it comes to you out of the box. It is a wonderful heel down pedal. Wonderful. It is like butter. I mean, it is better than butter. It's like, it's butter. It's just like heel down. It is just like, it's really good. I was able to do all of my songs and go through all the styles with heel down, but I like heel up technique too sometimes. So I could do heel down. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And there's a lot of power with heel down on this pedal, a ton of power. And I could do my heel toe technique, you know, like everybody does, you know, and I could get a great response out of that too. But doing other techniques like toe and then your heel down, or just heel up and feathering it, it was not as, I couldn't get the timing right, and I was struggling to get all of that working. My heel down game, let's say, and heel up, let's say approach. I hate the game thing. Heel down approach, heel up approach, heel toe approach. I want to be able to do all of those techniques because I have to teach them too. All of those techniques, and I want to be able to do them in a way where I'm never going like, god damn it, you know, never doing that. So I could get all of them except the heel up, where you play your heels up first and you come down in the second, or etc. And I like that one a lot. And or heel up, feathering kind of stuff. And so I was like, what is going on? I can't get this. And so as I was changing this pedal, I would get it to where suddenly I could play that technique, but the other technique would suffer. And I was just like, what is going on? I'm going crazy. And then I didn't figure it out. And that's when, before the gig, and that's when I took this one. I took the other one. I was like, screw this. I'm taking this one. I know I can do all of those techniques on this baby and the Camco pedal, and they are burning. I never have to worry. I never blink one, never skip a beat with those. So it's like, what's going on? And then I was asleep, and it's so funny. I had one of those moments. I was in bed, and I was in bed, and I think I don't know if I woke up in the middle of the night or I dreamt it, but I was like, oh, like that. I was like, oh my God. The one thing I wanted to do with this pedal that was annoying the bejesus out of me was raise the footboard, because like I said in the past, I like the footboard raised up about that much. It makes a big difference on my heel up technique. I like it up about that much more. the footboard, which is why they allow you to do that. And that's for good reason. There's only one problem, that all of these pedals, when you do that, it changes the angle of the sprocket. And so when you were having a heel up, look, you see where it's at here? Raising it up, it would do this to the sprocket, and then I take this beater and move it back, but the sprocket is still now up, so the angle here is different. I didn't want that. I wanted to keep this angle the angle correct, just like it is, and raise the footboard. That's it. That's what I wanted. And all of these pedals, when you see them, it's very hard to, this is a top-of-line pedal. This is Iron Cobra 900 HP Flexi Glide something. It's the 900 series. You can't get higher. There's a higher version of the 900 series where right here, notably, right here, it's the bearing sits in like cradles, as opposed to in this way, it cradles on top and you unscrew it and it comes out. Hold on, I think somebody's here. So I'm back. So, what was I saying? Crap. I was talking about the sprocket being up. Right? So, I'll just start. I think I was talking about the sprocket. I don't know exactly my last sentence. Anyway, the sprocket here, I was raising this pedal and it would move this piece up. Now, I didn't like that. And I discovered, I was like, well, oh, that's right. I had this dream like this moment. The strap on this pedal, okay, it's in there. I'll take one off. I'll take the bottom off here. It's in, the way it works, the way they did this, there's a little piece of plastic here, and I don't even think I'll be able to do that. Yes, I will. I didn't even take this part off. This is probably the last remaining part that I didn't take off of this pedal, because I literally have been playing around and moving this pedal like in every direction possible. So this thing, oh man. Oh, there we go. I don't even have to take it all the way off. There it is. So you got a really big pin. Really big pin. Super nice. Fits in there. And right, goes like this. Ta-da. Now, like I said, these pedals, you know, they're this is top of line 900 series. That's what I was saying. 900 series. Like, why can't I get this thing to, you know, what's the big deal here? Every time I move up the footboard, it moves the angle of the sprocket. I don't want that. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just move the sprocket down on that bar. Like, I can move up the footboard, right? And then I'll take the sprocket off, and I will, you know, I'll move it right here, right? I'll slide it off and literally take all this apart, slide this off, and move it back down. But if I do that, I mean, that wouldn't work either. I wanted to get the footboard up, but not change the angle of this. So what I realized, just like the chain, it's the length of the strap. Well, with a strap, you can't like cut it. Like, I could take off a link of a chain, and I would get that footboard up without changing the angle of the sprocket. It's like, what am I gonna do? That's it. So that I was like, oh, and when I was sleeping, and I realized up here, right there, same thing. The Kevlar goes up, and there's the pin, and the pin sits in a spot in the metal, and then they put the top here, and it just sandwiches in there. So I was like, I can roll. What if I could roll the strap like once on itself? That will work, right? And I was like, oh, it was this moment. It's like, ah. So essentially like this, and let's say the pin is there, and I just go like that. And I said, I bet you that the plastic, this key screw can, it's going to be able to sandwich that roll. I bet you I got enough room to do that, and it's going to raise it up. And it does. So now I'm on vacation, but I'm going to go to the studio and try this out. Now I got the angle I want with the footboard height I want, and I swear to everything, the universe, this pedal is going to be just a knockout. Now, you hear it does come up high, but once you put your foot on, it's like that one. That's always the case when you take a link off of those chains. It's always the case. The board by itself is close to the beater, but once you put your foot down, it never even comes close. So that's it. So now I have the raised footboard. I have yet to try it out. So there will definitely be a part 2 to this video. I'm going to try it out. But now, what do I have? I have the Legend and Innovation Iron Cobra 900 series Flexi Glide. They don't even make them anymore. I put a normal beater because I like the weight and the feel and the size of this whole thing. Strap drive with the raised footboard, and the angle is normal. It's not crazy. Tension is basically the screw comes right to the bottom. And that's it. And I swear, I bet you this is going to be like an unbelievable knockout pedal. I swear. It's gonna have power and stability, and it's not going to be moving around like this with the speed and everything else. So it's just going to be home, you know. Now, this pedal, on top of which you can do all kinds of crazy stuff to this, the modifications. It's funny, all these modifications, but the one thing I want, I had to, you know. Anyway, Tama, I swear. This pedal, one of the other things that makes this pedal a serious pedal, 900 series, is the hinge part here. It's not just riveted or a pin that goes through all the way. It is, I mean, it's a serious. I don't want to take it apart, but you see here, see how it wraps around? They really, I think it's like there must be bearings, and it's cradled inside there, so it's prevent it from loosening up. It's not just gonna over time wear out the inside. So as a result, you don't get any motion right and left. See, I'm doing it. You can't get any. It's not going. This, you do. Look at this. See that? So this one, you can't. I'm doing the same thing here, and you don't get it. I don't want to, So, eat your heart out. Eat your heart out. Hybrid, if you want to call it that. I just modified my 900 pedal, and I'm going to take on the world with this thing, I think. My world. This is just going to be unbelievable. And another great thing, I can take this off with this pedal. You just watch. Like that. The beater falls. So to put it in my bag, take this off. Obviously you do the same there, but anyway, it's nice that you can do that with this thing being a bearing. And take the beater off, and now the footboard falls, and I can place this in my bag the same way I did the other ones on the corner, and it works. So there you go. I'm looking forward to testing this out. I'll probably be doing it maybe next week. And more news soon. Happy drumming, happy bass drum, pedal searching.